Hey everybody, it's Cindy Matalucci, your host of The Pulse and Live with Cindy. It's Instagram Thursday. You know we love to bring you the best things that are happening in San Diego and talk to the best people out there, the entrepreneurs, the people that are doing amazing stuff. And it's almost the holidays and it's almost 2025. So are you guys ready? Are you ready to amp up and elevate what you're eating? So if you're stressed about holiday meals, if you're stressed about 2025 and prioritizing yourself, we have got you covered today. I am with my friend, Sarah Dolgen from Cookin With Luv.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so excited to be here. I mean, first
Me
of all,
too.
I'm dying over this spread. Everything smells...
I hope you came hungry.
Everything smells so good. I literally am going to be eating everything that I'm seeing here. But I wanted to kind of talk to everybody first before we kind of dive in. You and I kind of go way back.
We do.
So
Yeah.
we know each other when you were in La Jolla.
Yes.
So we had it body school by Sarah.
Yeah, I did endermology and infrared sauna.
Saying that the audio needs to be fixed.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Can you hear us? Hello?
Hello.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now? Maybe turn us up. Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully there's no audio issues. So you were doing Body Sculpt by Sarah.
Yes. So I had a business in La Jolla, and that's how I met you. I was doing endermology, which is a lymphatic drainage treatment from Europe that does skin tightening, cellulite reduction, and lymphatic drainage. And I had an infrared sauna in there that had like jade stone. Remember that thing?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Kind of heavenly. But yes. Anyway, so that's how we met. We go way back.
And that was like 13 years ago.
It was.
So I'm so excited to reconnect with you because I love what you're doing now. So let's talk about what you're doing. Because what was your inspiration for Cookin With Luv?
So I have always loved to cook, and I've always been into health and wellness my whole life. I really started cooking for myself when I was like 14 years old, and I was living abroad. I was modeling and living on my own at a young age, and I was a vegetarian at the time. I'm not now. But I just sort of was like a self-taught cook, but I was always into making sure I was eating healthy and getting enough protein and all that stuff. And I'm always having people over and cooking. If you know me, you've probably been over for some kind of a whole thing. And even in college, I was like, hey, who wants to come over for like, spaghetti dinner and have 30 people in a tiny apartment in New York or something?
I love that.
So, but during COVID, when COVID kind of like hit, I was in the middle of getting divorced. I have 2 little kids. They were really little then. And I was trying to figure out what am I going to do to help support my family. And when everyone was in lockdown, I kept getting messages like all day long from my girlfriends, a lot of whom like are working moms and they don't really cook normally. And now they're all home and they're like, oh my God, what do I make?
And they have every meal to make, right?
Yeah, it was stressful for people who don't cook and were like overwhelmed with it. So I'm giving advice all the time. And then I was like, oh my God. And everyone was always like, you should teach cooking classes. You should da. So came up with the reality that I have to do something and it's got to be from home. And I'm already cooking anyway, so I just created a business, and because cooking is my love language, I decided to call it Cookin With Luv.
Well, and you were doing some virtual stuff, right?
I was doing virtual stuff, and then once we were allowed to see each other again, I started doing catering and food delivery for people, which is what I've been doing ever since.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So right now you do personal chef services, catering.
Yeah, and also I do catering, and I can cater from like 2 people all the way up to like 30 people. I have somebody who I work with if somebody needs like an amazing bartender who can come in and do that sort of thing. And then I've also been a private chef at like an Airbnb weekend for a party of like 20. That was a really fun weekend. So I was just in there with everybody. They were from all over the world. There were like multiple food allergies in the mix, which is kind of my specialty.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like your specialty, because I know I'm gluten-free, and she's like, I got you. I mean, I see that everything that you're doing, and I know some of our family has worked with you too.
Yes.
So we love that. But okay, so you have a spread here today.
Okay.
So we have got to talk about this.
Okay.
So there's so much. So let's talk about what you have today. So Israeli salad, right?
Yeah, so This is my deconstructed Israeli salad. I just wanted to show you how easy and simple it is to make an Israeli salad. If you make an Israeli salad, it lasts for about 5 or 6 days because it's going to have lemon juice in it.
Okay.
It's so healthy and good for you. And literally, you chop up parsley, fresh mint is the key.
Okay.
This combo is great. Persian cucumbers, red pepper if you like red pepper, cherry tomatoes, and if you eat cheese, then I would sprinkle some feta on it.
Okay.
And all you need is fresh lemon juice, salt, like sea salt, and pepper.
Oh, I love this.
And that's it.
So healthy.
So, and I usually make it and I put it in one of those really big jumbo Ziploc bags and just shake it up.
Oh, okay.
And it's done. And then I can leave it like that in my fridge or put it in something. And always a crowd favorite is the Israeli salad, which pairs well with some of the other things that I made today.
It seems like everything kind of goes really well together.
It does. This is kind of a vibe.
Okay, so I'm going to try to say this word without butchering it.
You're going to
Shakshuka?
Shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
You were so close though.
I was so close. I've been practicing this word all morning.
It's all good.
So I was so excited to talk about this because
Yeah.
I have never really heard of this.
Okay.
So let's talk about this because it's amazing.
So shakshuka is one of my favorite things to make, and it can be served for breakfast, brunch, lunch, or dinner. I had it for the first time when I was in Israel years ago, and shortly after I met you, actually. And I was like, oh my God, I have to figure out how to make this. And I've been making it ever since. And what's cool about shakshuka is that it's extremely healthy and it's really easy to make. So I tell people about shakshuka all the time because it's like such an easy thing, and people love it. At like
and it
a
looks
get together.
So gorgeous.
Yeah. So I didn't put cheese on it, but I often do sprinkle feta or goat cheese.
Okay.
So basically what I do is I put a bunch of spinach, which cooks way down, as I'm sure you know if you've cooked spinach. So I usually get like a lot of spinach in there. Cook it down with fresh chopped tomatoes and tomato sauce. Also, I use harissa.
Ooh.
And then and garlic and honey. So it's spicy and savory. I'm sorry, it's sweet and spicy, so it's kind of both.
Okay.
But you can, if you don't like spicy, you don't have to use harissa or cayenne or anything like that.
So you can make it spicy or make it not spicy.
Yeah, it's totally however you like it.
Because I'm like okay spice, but not too much spice.
So you might not want to go with the harissa on that, but you might want to do a couple shakes of like cayenne pepper and then call it. But what's cool, and then you get it so that like the base is thick.
Okay.
And then you take a spatula and you literally carve out holes.
Oh, wow.
And then you just drop the egg in.
Eggs in there.
Yeah, you drop the egg in. Everyone's different about the way they like their eggs. I like to pop it and have it be runny, but you can also cook it a little bit more. And then I usually put some cilantro on top. What's cool about shakshuka, though, is now...
Shakshuka. Say that 10 times fast.
What's cool about shakshuka is you can make it lots of different ways also. So I've made like Mexican shakshuka where I put black beans in it and I put cheddar on top.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
You can make like a green shakshuka with pesto and even avocado like mixed in there, which is super yummy.
You can play with it.
You can play with it. It's good lots of different ways. But I'll tell you a little secret. So this brand, Mina, you can buy this at Vaughn's and I'm sure other places and I'm sure online, but they make a shakshuka base.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you don't want to do all the stuff that I just talked about.
That's what I was going to say, because some people it might be overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, I have to make the base.
Also, like, it takes a while to get it thick. But I like that because it's just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have a shakshuka base and you can buy it and you can just add your spinach, let it do its thing, stir it up, watch it till it's thick, and then drop your egg in.
Oh my God, I love that. And I did some research because I was like, okay, I need to know a little bit about this meal.
Yeah.
So it comes from Maghrebi Arabic, which means mixed, and it originated from Tunisia.
Yes, that's true.
So that's crazy.
Yes.
And okay. Is it served here a lot, would you say?
I think it's become a little bit more popular. I've seen it on some menus here and there.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have an allergy, actually, so I'm allergic to onions.
Oh my gosh.
Which sucks.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's a tough one. But I can make anything without onions. So typically you do also add onions and garlic before you add all the other stuff. I forgot to mention that, but I don't if I'm going to be eating it.
So that's good to know because there are people. I have a friend that her son is allergic to onions.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So, well, I love that.
So everything here is onion free.
And everything here is healthy, which I
And
love.
it's all very healthy.
And
yes.
it's all healthy. Okay,
Oh,
so
by the way, you can make shakshuka vegan, which would be omitting the egg and adding maybe chickpeas or something like that,
I love that.
which is really good.
Because I do that. I'm vegan sometimes. I go back and forth.
When
so.
you feel like being vegan.
When I feel like being vegan.
Omit the egg.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so chicken, spinach, sweet potato dish. Are we going to talk about that?
Absolutely. Okay, so this is my spinach sweet potato chickpea dish.
Ugh.
And all I did was in a pan, and by the way, this is my favorite pan, guys. It's from Our Place. I use it all the time. I'm
Okay.
obsessed. I have way too many of them for work.
Can you
but
put this in the oven?
Yes, you can put it in the oven. It's so good. It's like also you don't even need to cook with oil.
Ooh.
But it's non-toxic.
Okay.
So my favorite pans.
All right,
And-
we'll post that too because I like these tips.
yeah, they're great. Okay, so what I do is I put 1 can of organic sweet potato into the pan, a little olive oil, a big thing of spinach, and then also chopped up sweet potato as well with organic. Everything's organic, by the way, that I make, and non-GMO and all that fun stuff. So, and then I put my chickpeas in. I also add honey and a little bit of cayenne pepper just because I like a little kick, but you don't have to, obviously. And it's just like salt and pepper, super simple, little garlic. I let it cook down, and it's pretty yummy and easy and so healthy. It's vegan, it's gluten-free.
Well, and I was
Good
going to
for
ask you, so your specialty, so for the viewers, is like if you have an allergy or something, right?
Yeah.
And you do cook so healthy.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the process like when somebody wants to work with you? Do you go over, like, okay, what are your allergies? What do you like? What you don't like? There's a process.
There's a process. So if you want to hire me to deliver food to you for your family or yourself or whatever, or cater for you, the first thing I ask you is what you love to eat.
Okay.
I make copious notes of all these things. So it's what do you love to eat? What's your favorite kind of, style of food? Do you like Italian? Do you like, Indian? What are you into? And then we go through, do you have any food allergies? And then do you have any preferences?
Okay.
And those sometimes are two different things. So like I know people say, I have somebody I cook for all the time, they hate olives. No olives in anything, which is fine and really easy. But if I didn't ask that question,
You might have put an olive
I might
in
have
something.
put olives in something. Yeah, like I make I do make one of these dishes with olives sometimes, and it's the chicken tagine, and it's really good. But I wouldn't make that for them, right? So
Right. That's so cool though that you do that.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's a mixed bag, right? So like when I did that catering job for that weekend at the Airbnb, there was someone there were 2 gluten-free people. They had celiac. Somebody was vegan.
Oh my God.
Somebody had an allergy to this thing or that thing. And so, you just go, okay, so I'm going to make the food for everybody, and I can do that. So I can work with any food allergies.
I love
and sometimes people have really extreme allergies, so you really need to know. It's important.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, everything looks so good. I love it. So, okay, pumpkin curry soup. Are we going to talk about this one?
Sure. Okay. So you guys, I love to serve soup in mugs. But you can't
that's
serve.
such a great idea.
I don't know. And actually, I have to say that my mom is the one that I learned this from, and my mom is an incredible entertainer. So I have so many things I've learned how to do because of
Shout out to Ellen.
Shout out Ellen.
Yeah.
But so one of the things that she's been doing for years is making soup and having people over for dinner, but maybe you don't necessarily sit down first or something, and you're serving this first, and people are just drink out of the mug.
Yeah.
But if it's a chunky soup, you might also want to just throw a spoon in it, which works too. So this is a pumpkin curry soup with spinach. You can also add chickpeas. I didn't because we're doing something with chickpeas over here.
Okay.
All it is, you guys, it's so easy, okay? And let me tell you something. If you have a slow cooker, I talk about slow cookers all the time.
Pens up moment.
So, okay, your life will be so much easier if you have a slow cooker. It's a great investment in your lifestyle. So I made this soup in a slow cooker. All I did was put organic coconut milk, organic pumpkin, and then spinach, a little honey, a little salt, a little bit of pepper, and garlic, and that's it. That's all that's in there.
And how long do you cook it for in the slow cooker?
I put it on the soup setting,
Oh.
and it just does it all by itself.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not even kidding. It's so easy.
I'm taking that
I
home.
went and did a million different things, came back, I said, keep it warm, and I was like, okay, here we go, soup.
And it turns off too on its own, which is amazing.
Yeah,
because that's what I always get freaked out about.
It's
but
preset,
it's like,
yeah.
yes.
And I have to say, you guys, I use my slow cooker all the time when I'm cooking for a lot of people. I have a lot of.
Because you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, I've got like 3 slow cookers sometimes going in my kitchen at the same time.
But this is
like
vegan.
A crazy person.
This is vegan and gluten free.
This is vegan and gluten free. Yes.
Oh, but I tasted it earlier. It's very like hearty.
Yeah.
Like it's got a good like it doesn't. It feels like, you know how sometimes soup with liquid broth doesn't taste filling. This tastes filling.
Yeah, it does. I think it's probably because of the pumpkin, and I also the coconut milk really adds a lot to it. So
I love coconut milk.
yeah, I mean, and again, this
So
is a
good.
healthy soup. You can serve this, you know, lunch, dinner, whatever.
Okay.
It can also be a main course. Like it could, if you want soup, you know, you could.
I like to do soup for dinner.
Yeah,
sometimes
super
it's
healthy.
later.
Later. Yep.
Yummy, yummy.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then so let's talk about these two.
Okay, so this is a chicken tagine with apricots and raisins. So
Can you use the same
yeah,
sauce that
so,
you talked about earlier?
So I'm going to show you. So this is, again, Mina tagine. They have 2 different kinds, and they are just so good. And I love them because I can have it because there's no onions in it.
Oh, good.
So, actually, believe it or not, my children who are 7 and 10 are obsessed with this.
I love that.
It's so good. So the apricots, and I only use Turkish apricots, no sulfate, no sulfur, whatever. Just
Okay.
No, like, you know.
So they don't
fake
have
apricots.
sulfur in them.
No sulfur. They're dark.
Interesting.
They're the dark Turkish ones. The only ones I'll
Where
use.
do you get those?
You can actually get them at Trader Joe's or pretty much anywhere, but I use the organic ones.
Organic ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just have skinless, like chicken thighs, again, in my slow cooker, guys. So I put 2 of these guys, my chicken, my apricots, some golden raisins, again, organic, and I add honey, and then I also add organic apricot jam.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of this cool, it's a real mix of flavors, but it's so good over rice. Couscous.
Well, so yeah, this kind of complements everything that
Yes,
you have here. So that your kids like it. That's what I was going to ask you.
My kids like it.
So
it's kind of sweet,
right?
And they love
it is
chicken.
Sweet. It is a little. I love it.
It works, you know, and it's hearty, but it's still healthy. I mean, it's pretty healthy. So, and that rice that I made is actually I added turmeric and ginger and garlic.
That. And what kind of rice
It's jasmine.
I love jasmine rice.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
I can only eat jasmine rice.
Okay, well then you would probably like that rice. Also, it's gluten-free,
It's
obviously.
gluten-free,
so you can
right.
have that.
I know.
The couscous is not gluten-free, but one thing about couscous is you have to toast the pearls in olive oil first. And I add garlic as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you want to get them a little brown, and then you add the boiling water.
Okay. That's a good tip.
It's pretty yum. And then this guy is a barbecue Moroccan lamb.
Israel's salivating right
Israel
now.
is going to have some later. You can see that. Okay, so I use ground lamb. You can see it's not.
It is ground.
Yeah. So this pours over rice, couscous like beautifully.
Okay.
You can also have it by itself, but I really like it on something because it kind of falls around.
It's almost like a little dip, sort of.
So I know lamb isn't for everyone, but it's really healthy. If you do eat it, it's pretty. It's as far as meat goes, it's a good meat to eat. And it's always grass fed, so there's that. And so I put in my slow cooker.
In the slow cooker, people.
I put barbecue sauce, and then I also put honey, and then I use Moroccan spices.
Ooh.
And again, there's a tiny bit of olive oil in this. Otherwise, there's no oil in anything at all.
What kind of Moroccan spices would you say?
I will show you. Hold on.
Okay. Because I want to know. I like it.
So first of all, this is my favorite. It's Ras El Hanout. I might have said that wrong. The Spice Way is my favorite spice company, and they just have so many good spices, especially if you're making like food that's maybe Israeli, like Lebanese or, Indian, a little outside the box. I wouldn't
Nada, if you're listening, there you go.
There you go. And I'll tell you what's in this, so you can also, because you could also just do these things on their own.
Okay, like mix them together instead of...
Yeah, so you can like go, I'm not a big fan of ginger. I'm not going to use ginger, but there is ginger in here. So we've got cinnamon, turmeric, coriander, ginger, cumin, paprika, black pepper, allspice, mace, cardamom, cloves, and nutmeg.
Well, because I use all those by themselves.
Right.
So if I could combine them,
yeah, and
that's amazing.
And I use this also if I do like a Moroccan chicken, which I really like. So I'll do chicken, like baked chicken with this spice and a little honey and olive oil. It's really good.
So you told me a tip earlier, and I was going to ask this because I think it's really great for the viewers because we're hard on ourselves when it comes to cooking, right?
Yeah.
And people get super overwhelmed. And you told me, well, I don't worry so much about the recipe, right?
No, I don't really
tell
use
us that because I feel like that's such a good tip, especially from someone that does so much cooking.
Okay, so I don't use recipes. This is why I don't bake. I really cook with feeling. And that's one of the things when I do teach people and I do classes and stuff, I really encourage people to try to take a deep breath and like just let yourself have fun with it. Because like, for example, you don't maybe want something super spicy.
Right.
So you're going to make a sauce and you're going to like check it and go, you know, is that spicy too? Is that enough? That's it. But, you know, if you're following a recipe, it might be like, whoa, that's way too spicy for me. So, and also to play with things.
Right.
I mean, I just came up with this tagine because I love tagine, but like, I thought, oh, I wonder what it would be like if I added apricot jam and not just the apricots. Or like, what if I add raisins for fun? I also put raisins sometimes in the barbecue.
Well, you're putting a spin on it too, like a different spin.
And so I never make anything exactly the same, and I tell that to all of my clients because sometimes my clients are like, oh, I want to do, you know, I'm having 6 to 8 people over. That dinner that you did last time I had 6 to 8 people over, I want exactly the same thing.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'll be like, okay, but it's not going to be exactly the same, but it will be mostly the same, and they know.
I like that because that's how I cook. I don't like, kind of because I come from the Italian background, so it's always like, oh, it's a little shake of this, a little of this. Like nobody really knows.
That's like cooking with feeling for sure. Yeah.
Well, and I love that your motto is you cook with, you're cooking for food that loves you back, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, your food is good. Like it's nourishing you. And that's what's like super important.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a stigma about like eating healthy is not yummy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not, but it doesn't have to be like that, you know? So everything here is super healthy. It's high in protein, you know, and I think people like our age are also, you know, especially women are like, oh my God, I'm supposed to eat all this protein. How do I get it all in?
It's a lot.
You know, and there's like...
But this has got a lot of good options though for you. And then, okay, so this is like my favorite, I think. We have got to talk about this dip because this is cool. And you have all the ingredients so you can kind of tell everybody.
So this is my famous red pepper cashew dip, which I usually like to present a little bit prettier than that. Okay, guys. Sorry, that was bothering me.
It needs a little garnish.
It needed a little something. So this is a very healthy dip that lasts about 5 days in your refrigerator. I'm asked to bring it to people's homes all the time, like all the time. And my kids love it. It's so healthy. So all it is, guys, and you need a blender for this, okay? Is how the spice level.
Well, and it's good too because I know cayenne really speeds up your metabolism. They say you should be eating more spicy foods too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for you for sure. And then
you blend this, right?
honey, cayenne, little bit of salt. I don't really over salt things. I don't like to
eat a lot of salt at all. I'm not a salt
kind
person.
Of a like low on the salt, but some people like that. So whatever, you do you because you're gonna cook with your feeling.
Do you?
And then I just kind of keep checking it to see if I like the thickness and if I need it thicker.
This looks really nice and creamy.
I want it creamy and not too thick. But sometimes it's like too runny, and then I'll just add more cashew.
Okay, I love cashews so much.
Yeah, me too. And it's also really healthy for you, and a great way to get
make,
protein as well.
For those who do bake, I just baked my first pie, and I used cashews for the crust.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't think it came out very well, but you know, it's my first time.
You know, there's a first time for anything.
So these are so healthy. Well,
yeah, they're really good for you.
So I have to ask you. Oh, and then you were saying I want to talk about some of the added stuff that we can add.
Tzatziki. Tzatziki, you guys, you can buy at the store. And honestly, I've tried store-made tzatziki, and it's fine.
It's my favorite. I love tzatziki.
So, and that's just whole wheat pita, which I prefer whole wheat to white, but it's, your preference.
I would put tzatziki on everything.
Also, naan bread is really good with all of these things as well. So tzatziki, you can make it or buy it, and it goes well with literally everything that's here, except I wouldn't maybe put it with the cashew
with the dip, right?
But something about the dip that's interesting is like you can dip, celery and cucumbers and stuff, pita chips, whatever in there.
Right.
But I also use it on salad.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that's
I kind of
like a dressing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I actually do that with tzatziki.
Oh yeah.
I kind of put tzatziki on everything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, and also like with the Israeli salad, tzatziki is great with that. But I've also paired it with that dip, and it's good. Hummus is great with it. Also, a really easy dressing is just tahini, lemon juice, honey, garlic, salt, pepper. Done.
Ooh, you just mix it? You don't have to blend it?
No, you don't have to blend it. You can literally mix it with like a fork and then just drizzle over your salad. It's really good.
So like a tahini dressing.
Also is good with shakshuka.
Yum.
Everything is good.
Well, I'm starving, so I definitely want to eat. But okay, so I want to talk about your packages because they're pretty awesome.
Thanks.
So if somebody wants to work with you, right? Mm-hmm. So walk them through the process. They would contact you directly, like your website.
Yeah, you can go to my website, Cookin With Luv, and it's LUV, by the way.
LUV.
Or my Instagram, which is Cookin _with Luv, LUV. And if you know me, I kind of write LUV all the time.
Oh,
so that's why I went with that.
I love that. No pun intended.
I love that. And I love love. And so it's, yes. Anyway, so yeah, you just contact me and I'll have a conversation on the phone with you and figure out what you're looking for. And I do have different packages, which we can talk about. I do catering. I do food delivery for people.
I love it. The weekly love delivery.
Yes. And then another thing that I've done for a lot of people, which I think is a really sweet gift for someone who's going through a hard time, is I've delivered food for women who are going through chemotherapy for breast cancer, who have a really hard time with food, A, and B, who need anti-inflammatory food.
Yes.
And I've also delivered food for people who are recovering from surgeries.
Like post-surgery.
Yeah, and that's not just like my, I work with people who have had plastic surgery,
right.
Who need food delivery, but also like I delivered food for someone who had a hysterectomy, and like I was trying to help her heal from the inside out. So I was bringing her anti-inflammatory food and things that were going to help, because there are actually food groups that like really do help you heal. Also, if someone has had a baby, really overwhelming to like have to cook for your family. So again, that's like a nice gift for somebody.
Amy Tobar, are you listening? I'm going to message her because she's a girlfriend of mine. She's about to have her baby, and that would
congrats.
Be such a good. I know, we should talk to her about that.
Yeah. So that's a really, really sweet gift, actually,
I love that.
for somebody.
But it's great that you specialize in that.
Yeah, and again, even that was healing from a surgery while having a newborn. That's a lot, and a toddler.
That's a lot.
And having food being like at my house waiting for me that was healthy, and some of the stuff that was made to literally help me heal.
Right.
I was lucky enough to have had that gift twice, 2 out of 2. So it was invaluable.
Well, even for busy couples too.
Yes,
I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just to be able to come home and have like food.
Yeah.
And healthy food.
Exactly. And also, I mean, I've done things where like someone wants to propose to their girlfriend, and they're like, oh, can you, but we don't want to be out somewhere. And so it'll be like surprise romantic dinner proposal.
I love that.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
And so you also do celebrations, right? So you were saying like an intimate thing, like you kind of were explaining for like a couple or like a larger event as well.
Yeah. And I've done lots of celebrations, which are super fun to do. So I can, and one of the things that some people like for me to do is make the food and deliver it. And then they get to serve it.
They can plate it.
They can even say they made it.
They can lie. I'm going to use that one. Look at this dip that I made. It's fabulous.
I'll kind of give you the scoop and you can talk about it. Okay, this is what you did.
Oh my God.
So that happens, or I can be in your kitchen serving, cleaning, all the things. So either way.
I love that. And then I just want to mention, I know we talked a little bit about this, but this is the vacation vibe package, which I was just dying when I was reading this, because we go and we stay at the Airbnb a lot.
Yeah.
So talk about this package for people, because I love this.
So if you're going to stay at an Airbnb and you just don't want a deal, one of the things that I've done before and I love to do, it's really fun, is curate the Airbnb for you. So basically, like, find out what do you eat for breakfast if I'm not going to be cooking for you there. And get all the fridge is stocked, snacks you like. I go to the store, I get it all put away. It looks pretty, it's nice. It's wrapped up in a bow for you when you come, so you really don't have to even think about it.
That's amazing.
And so that's one thing. And then the other thing that I can do is to actually either drop food off to the Airbnb or be your private chef for whatever meals you want while you're there.
That
And
is
again,
so
if somebody
awesome.
wants to do like for example, when I worked with a friend of mine that does bar, he did a whole tequila experience for people, which was really cool and really awesome. And they were upstairs with like the sunset and having this little, and they had snacks. And they were done with the tequila experience. They came downstairs, and I had like a make your own taco bar with anything you can think of under the planet. It was really fun.
I love that.
So
That's
you can
amazing.
theme things. We can theme things. We can like whatever. Yeah.
And 2025 is coming up. So you
Yes.
guys got to get your priorities. You know, your health is
Yeah.
important, eating healthy. I know we're working on that right now.
And I think
So-
everyone's working on that. Ugh.
And you're just taking the headache of it away.
Yeah, and
So
I really
love that.
love doing that for people. And I think I just, honestly, this is like absolutely my passion, and I'm very lucky to be able to do what I love. And yeah, it's like I love my job. It's the best.
Well, I love that you made all this so I can eat it. So I'm
Me
going to
too.
eat some. So you
Like, where do
guys-
you want to start?
I'm gonna try some stuff
Okay.
right now too, but
Cool.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. I'm excited. I don't know why anybody wouldn't be working with you
Oh, you're
because
so
this
sweet.
is like amazing. I'm
Aw.
so excited.
Thanks, hon.
And you guys, we're gonna put everything on the website. We'll have it on the Instagram for you guys. Follow Sarah. Reach out to her. I know a lot of
Yeah.
you had asked questions for me, and you said you were gonna watch, and so now hopefully we answered those questions.
Yeah.
But if you need anything, DM us, and we just want to say thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for letting us
This
be
is
in the
so
kitchen
fun.
today with you.
I love being in the kitchen with you. It's great.
I love it too. Okay, you guys, we'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. Bye.
Bye.